Ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, let me tell you something. It's July 5th, 2023, and 65% of the nation's top 200 players have already made their verbal commitments. They're already off the board. Projections showing that as much as 75% of the nation's top 200 players will be gone by the end of the month. They will have already committed. Summertime recruiting has never been hotter than it is right now. And today we're going to help pile on a little bit of that summertime momentum as we have one of the nation's premier prospects with us here today. Joseph Jonah-Ajonye is about to join us, a 6'5", 270-pound defensive end out of Oak Ridge High School. He's a consensus 4-star, ladies and gentlemen. He's ranked inside the top 75 on all the respectable recruiting services. He's set to make his announcement here live tonight between Oregon, Georgia Tech, Oklahoma, and Georgia. Let's welcome in the man of the hour himself, the Nigerian Nightmare, with a little bit of help from his teammates, our guy, Joseph Jonah-Ajonye. Joseph, how we doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great.
You excited, brother?
Very excited.
Absolutely. Who we got with us tonight? I heard you told me we got a teammate. Who we got?
It is my teammate,
Barion Banks. How we doing tonight, Barion?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm excited to hear where this man's going to play some college football. I'm sure you are as well. Hey, let's get right into it, man. Joseph, you come to America when you're just 8 years old, man. Tell me about the journey here to the States, brother.
So I had to hop on 6 flights to get to this country. So from Nigeria to Turkey, from Turkey back to Nigeria, and then back to Turkey, then went to Panama, Monterrey, Mexico, then Tijuana, and then we made it into San Diego. And then from San Diego, started living in Maryland. Lived in Maryland for a while, and then came to Texas, and I've been here ever since.
You're a well-traveled young man, dude. You've lived in a lot of places in this world. Grew up in Nigeria, obviously moved to San Diego when you first got to the States, like you said. Go to Maryland, now you settled in Texas. What do you think you've learned in your young life already, just about, you know, all the different experiences that you've had and all the different places you've lived? What's your takeaway from kind of being the new guy everywhere you go?
The most important thing that I've learned is really not to judge people. Like, don't judge a book by its cover, you know? That's really what I've learned from traveling the world. I met a lot of great people. Just don't judge a book by its cover.
So this might sound like an indelicate question, but why America? Why come here? Was it seeking opportunity, I'm assuming?
Yeah, because America has a lot of opportunities, a lot of jobs, and it's easy to make money here.
You know, we'll talk a little bit about it. I'm sure you've done your research, but, you know, I have a theory about Nigerian football players. There, especially Nigerian edge rushers. There is a long list of defensive ends, edge rushers in the NFL that have had a tremendous amount of success. I think the first name I remember of this descent is Asi Umenyiora, Emmanuel Agba, of course, Jeremiah Tachu, Josh Uche, most recently David Ajabo out there at Michigan. Georgia fans listening tonight will know or remember the Ojulari brothers being NFL players. You know, Sam and Pimba in recent classes, Williams Winari in your class as well. There's a lot of Nigerian bloodlines. What is it about the Nigerian people that produce such great football players, man?
It's really our aggressiveness and our natural athleticism, you know? Like, we're just built to hurt people. Yeah.
It is like, hey, not a lot of Nigerian offensive players. There's some tackles mixed in there, but most playing on the defensive side of the football. You have found football now in your later your career as an athlete, but it wasn't originally football, was it? I've read stories about you playing soccer goalie. I've read stories about you originally playing basketball before you put on some weight. How did we find football? And tell me about those original days playing football.
So how I found football was my freshman year at Conroe High School. My coach wanted me to try out for it because I had a pretty nice build. So, like, sure, I'll try it out. So my first position that I ever played was wide receiver, but I didn't like getting hit. So he put me on the defensive side of the ball. I got my first hit, and I just love that feeling, that rush of adrenaline, and that's just been it ever since.
That's wild. So when you're a freshman year, what are you heights and weights? What are you like 6'3", like 185 pounds? What are we looking like?
My freshman year during the season, I was 6'2", around 180. So yeah.
So we go from a 180-pound freshman to 3.5 years later. Bro, you've got you got recruiting services so messed up. They don't know what you weigh because you keep gaining weight. What are you weighing right now? You like 270?
Yeah, I'm at 270, trying to stay below that 275 range for the season.
So we gained almost 100 pounds in 30 months. What's happened? What have we been doing? Is it just naturally gaining onto your frame? Are we just lifting? Are we eating more? What have you changed to gain such weight?
I think it's my genetics and my cooking and a whole lot of working out. That's what I'll give it to.
I'll never forget. I saw BJ Ojulari about 3 months before he walked off, into the sunset over at LSU, leaving high school. He was like 225 pounds. By the time he got to school, I think he was 250 in like 3 months. It was like watching someone just swell up like a balloon immediately. You are correct. There are some genetic makeups in there. Hey, man, let's talk about your recruitment. Got a lot of people in here waiting and trying to find out where Jonah-Ajonye will end up playing his college football. Oklahoma seemingly jumped out to a big lead early in your recruitment. What did the Sooners do to get a foot in the door? I know you're a Texas kid, but what did the Sooners do to get into such a high-powered recruitment, even during a coaching change?
What they really did, they really built a relationship with me from when they first offered me. So me and Oklahoma, we've been talking for a very long time. I know all those guys' families, their favorite colors, favorite foods. I know them all so well. So really just built a relationship.
When you talk to Coach Venables and hear about the kind of transition that they're going through, man, there's a lot of terminology change going on there with that defense. When you hear about him talking about the culture change and things like that, what are kind of some talking points and how have they sold you on the changes incoming for the Sooners?
Coach V just mostly talked about him rebuilding defense. So he needs big players like me, Williams, David, Nigel, because he really wants to beef up that D-line because he already has a good secondary. He just needs a good D-line. So
in the running for a lot of really high-powered, recruits, particularly on that interior defensive line. I think I read that they were recruiting you, or they are recruiting you to play interior defense, more defensive tackle, that 3-tech for them.
Yeah.
What is there a preference? I know we're going to talk about Georgia here in a second. Georgia more recruiting you to be that 4-eyed defensive end. Is there a preference in college what you might want to play?
Yeah, I prefer playing DN, and then on certain pass rush packages, I move down to D tackle. Like third down rushes.
Honestly, that's kind of in even Venables in his days at Clemson, he would use a guy like Miles Murphy like this, right? He would bump him into a 3 technique and let him overwhelm guards. It's a very unique, kind of spin on modern pass rushes. Let's get our best pass rushers in on lesser athletic guards and let them overwhelm them. I'm sure you do that. I know you do it on your high school tape. We're going to watch it here in a little bit as well. Let's talk about, actually, before we talk about Georgia, let's talk about Georgia Tech, man. Georgia Tech getting in the mix here, getting an official visit from a 4-star, top 75 player. What did Georgia Tech do to get into this recruitment?
So Marco Coleman, the D-line coach, he came to my school and he told me all about the benefits of living in the heart of Atlanta and the education side and then the long legacy of Georgia Tech football. And so I was just like, I had to see it for myself. So I just spent one of my OVs on it. Visit. Really fun.
They're doing something they haven't done in a long time. Like they've not recruited at this level, at least even getting into the door, man. Like getting into the door for a 4-star and 5-star was hard, almost borderline impossible for Georgia Tech in years past. What kind of momentum did you feel when you were on your OV? What's kind of their mission moving forward over there on, in Atlanta?
Their mission, they're definitely in a rebuilding stage, to try to dominate the ACCs. So Brent Keys, he's going after a lot of high-powered guys like myself, and it's just so they can win. They haven't been winning games really, but
The Ducks doing a great job on the recruiting trail as well under Dan Lanning, second year as a head coach out there. When you hear the recruiting pitch from Dan, what's it like?
It's really just to come be part of something great, a great brand like Nike, and be part of a great defense, because I think he's also a defensive mind. So that's really it.
You're a Jordan guy?
Yeah, really don't matter. I like Nike.
I could not see myself in them green Jordans. We could do all the other color waves. I can't be rocking green. Can you rock green like that?
I don't think green is my color.
Let's talk about Georgia, man. Doing a great job with your recruitment, but they played a lot of catch up here. They offered you this spring. This is not a football program that's been in your recruitment a long time. How did they get in, and why did they get in late? What was the explanation from Georgia in terms of the late offer?
Well, actually, they've been talking to me since February. I didn't just get the offer till spring.
Yeah.
And the reason I didn't get offered is because I was too small back then. I only weighed about 230. So if I had got the offer, I wouldn't be playing DN. I'd be playing outside backer. So Coach Scott wanted to wait for me to beef up to around 250, 260 to give me the offer. And that was really it.
And so you're talking about in February of last year, he came out and saw you. And they were thinking about offer. You definitely recruited you, and then he saw you again this February and this spring, and you'd already beefed up to the weight that he needed. No,
this spring,
bro. You've put on that much weight since February.
Yeah, I was still around 230 around that time.
Dear God. What is your playing weight going to be in college? Do you want to play like 285, 290?
I want to play around 280, bulk up about 10 more pounds of muscle.
Say less. That's gonna be lightweight for you. So let's talk about Trey Scott, man. Obviously, they've been recruiting you to play that 4-eye position. What was the recruiting pitch like from Georgia?
It was really about the development and then the legacy, and they see me filling in the role that Trayvon Walker played with his time with the Dogs. That's really it. Mostly about the development. That's a key thing for me in my recruitment, because I want to be the best in the nation. So,
all right, Joseph, we've held the people long enough. All right, let's go ahead and get it. The floor is yours. Where will you be playing your college football?
Where are we going, little bro? Yeah, University of Georgia.
Hey, this is where we insert the applause track. We normally get it lit. Hey, let's go. The chat's got it for you. Going to be a University of Georgia Bulldog. Joseph, let's talk about it. First question's an easy one. Why Georgia, man?
Georgia, because to put it simply, I've created a really good bond with the recruits and the players and the coaches. Those are my guys now. So they made it kind of an easy choice. And then the development there is crazy. Being able to put really great linemen in the league back-to-back, that's something other schools haven't done. And then back-to-back national championships, that goes to show how dedicated they are to the game. And then Coach Smart, he really made me believe in this logo right here, this G, because it means a lot to him. And my first visit, he gave a speech about what this means to him. And then I guess it just flowed into me, really. So, yeah.
He's in a very unique situation. I mean, it's becoming a little bit more common, but like Dabo Swinney played at Alabama. Dabo Swinney didn't play at Clemson. He loves Clemson. Nick Saban was a man born from West Virginia. He did not play at Alabama. He loves Alabama, but there are more and more of these coaches like Kirby Smart that are taking over programs that they played at, and it definitely does mean a little bit more. Joseph, that statement that he had for you, what did the G mean? What does the G mean?
It was just like, because, he played there and it's his home, and you can see all the success that Georgia has done for him. And, and I don't really know how to explain it in words. It was just a feeling I had in my soul, in my gut.
Absolutely. So going to play for Trey Scott. I want to give another shouts to another Nigerian bloodline here. Coach Uzo Duribe, what kind of role did he have in this recruitment? I mean, having a guy in that room and in that building that you're going to be close with day to day that can, identify with your homeland, essentially. What does that mean to you?
Oh, I feel like he played a really good role because now I get to connect with somebody that, part of my people. I don't want to say it was that important, but it was quite important.
Absolutely. Hey, man, you want to watch some football?
Yeah, thank you.
I want to watch some football. Let's show the Georgia fans watching right now what they just landed out on the recruiting trail. Actually, I got the wrong one right there. Let's add it in right now. Hey, man, congratulations, first of all. I appreciate you doing this here on this network. A very special first for us, hopefully not the last. I appreciate you entrusting us with it, man. And this is what we do best. We grind this here tape. Let's shut up and let's get after it, man. Super excited to do this with you right here. Hey, one thing I'm going to tell you about, tell the audience right now about you, Joseph. You play with a relentless motor, an absolutely relentless motor. Tell me about what it means to play with high effort levels in your high school football right now.
What it means, because you never know when the play is going to stop. So you always got to keep going. Let's say the quarterback's down the field, you still got to run. You can make that tackle, cause a fumble, injure them, and then your team gets the ball back. That's how you win the game.
I also noticed, hey, what is our arm length? Do we know our official arm length?
It's like 80-something, 84, 83.
84. A good solid 84 inches at a good solid 6'5". This is what I'm talking about with the effort, man. This is uncommon, except for at places like Georgia. This is a requirement at the University of Georgia. I'm sure they've talked to you about this. There is no taking plays off. There is no we didn't pursue on that play. This is all day, every day, is it not?
Yeah. I remember this exact play, this game. I was low-key tired, so I wanted to get off the field. That's why I went after him. Yeah.
That was a 3rd and long right there, 3rd and 12. So, yeah, man, if he slips that tackle right there, he might pick up a first down. So y'all get off the field right there. That's a huge play.
Yeah.
I also noticed when we watched this film, we talked a little bit about it during our interview. Man, you bulked up during the season so much that your position started to change. You started out early in the year playing like a wide 5, even into that stretch 7 technique. And then as the season progressed, you moved more inside, man. Tell me about the transition even in season. How'd you handle it?
It wasn't bad, low key. I started the season playing D tackle actually. And then once I started to get faster and assimilate into the season, my head coach put me out at the edge. So, yeah.
So we got bigger and faster and moved outward.
Yeah.
You got to love that. That's unique, man. Hey, great hands right here. Way to get hands on. Tell me about this, man. How are we working our hand development even in the run game? I know we work on it all the time in the pass game, but how are we developing a good hand shock and a good shedding of blocks?
Really to come out fast. It's definitely gotten way better than this right here. This film right here, I think it's definitely trash to what it's compared to now, but it's better.
You're saying we've improved a little bit since the film. Dude, your phone is going nuts right now. I can hear it. Your phone is going absolute bonkers.
Yeah. I didn't know you could
What a great day to be you, my man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, by the way, my mom's right here.
Let's talk to mom. Let's say hello to mom.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me get back to you. Hey, mom, how are we doing?
Good evening.
So this will be, you guys are kind of accustomed to moving around. This is a big move for your boy moving all the way to Georgia in a couple of months. How are we feeling about sending him off to Athens?
First of all, I want to say thank you for this opportunity. I feel so proud. I raised him. Yeah. I always say this is my son in whom I am well pleased. This whole journey about moving around, I will tell you, was or is right now not going to be like an easy thing, but Joseph chose this path for himself. Even when I tried to stop him from playing football, he was consistent. He was determined. I can't even imagine that I raised this child. Joseph went behind my back to start playing football. Even when I kept talking about, hey, this nurse said, I work in a hospital.
Yeah.
This nurse told me you could get concussion and all of that. And he was so determined, and he's gone places. Releasing him now to Georgia is not a big deal. I went there by myself 2 weeks ago, and I saw things for myself. I would say it's a blessing. So I would let him go like that because I know the people that I'm releasing him to. I trust them.
Absolutely. Hey, that
Yeah.
is there is a level of pride that comes from being a mother. I just became a parent a couple years ago, and I could not imagine the sense of pride that you have. He went behind your back to play football, mama?
Yes, because his background, his father played basketball professionally in Nigeria. And you know the typical African parent. We want them to do what we do. But I've learned my lesson now in a great way. Like Joseph knew what he wanted. He tried out a couple of times for basketball and he wasn't getting it. But the sister tried out just one time and she got it. And there's nothing like knowing what you want to do, pursuing it, dominating in it, and becoming what he is right now. I'm so proud of him. So proud. So when he started playing in grade 8 or grade 9,
None.
he didn't tell me. But when he comes back home and I see him limping, I'm like, what have you done? And then he opened up one day and told me. And I called my cousin that introduced us to football. My cousin lives in Philadelphia. His name is Felix Agbiru. Thanks to him. Because even when I kept shouting, you will not play, you cannot play. I just called him one day. I said, look at what Joseph is doing. Joseph is giving me trouble. He wants to go play football, and I don't want all those injuries for him. And he said, let him play. He gave me the courage. He gave me that push. I said, no, I don't want him to die. I said that. And he said, he will not die. He will become a star.
I was about to say, mama, it didn't take long for when Joseph started hurting other kids. I don't think he's been hurt too much out there on the football field. Hey,
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys so much for coming on, mama. I appreciate you for being on here. I'm going to let y'all go and celebrate the rest of y'all's night, man. Joseph, congratulations on your commitment announcement, man. It is just beginning. What else, mama?
I wanted to use this medium to thank all the coaches from Conroe High School, from Oak Ridge High School, the head coach, all the coaches. They played the role of a father in his life because I'm a workaholic. I'm always at work. They take him to practice, bring him back. They did so much for me. Thanks to all the coaches, and thanks to Georgia for this great opportunities. Thanks to the Georgia Bulldogs. This is me now wearing this shirt. I will get more of these. Go Dogs, go Dogs. Thanks for believing in my son and offering him this opportunity to play for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Joseph, you got anything, buddy?
Yeah. Another person that played a key role in my recruitment, two people, was Dylan Raiola and Justin Williams. Those are people who played a big role. And I want to say all glory to God for giving me this opportunity to go to my dream school and achieve my dreams at the highest level. And thank you to all the coaches that recruited me for making my goals come true.
You mentioned one there, man. You mentioned a name there. He's a teammate of yours now, and he's uncommitted, and he's picking between some highly powerful programs. Justin Williams, linebacker there at Oak Shore High School. What are your thoughts, man? You got some work to do there? What's going on?
Yeah, I have a lot of work to do. Hopefully he comes home, comes to Georgia, so I can play with him, continue our bond as brothers and win some national championships,
There you go, brother. Hey, I appreciate you for being here, man. Enjoy your night. Congratulations. And how about him? There you go, man.
Thank you.
Hey, what a phenomenal young man. What a phenomenal family. What a phenomenal football player that young man is. I appreciate him for giving us the opportunity to announce that here on this channel. I know some people thought it might have been one of the, not necessarily best kept secrets. That kid's loved the University of Georgia for several months now. And he's going to be a dog, and he's going to be a good one. Joseph Jonah-Ajonye. Appreciate you, young man, for committing here on this channel, the Film Guy Network. If you're watching right now, hit that thumbs up button. We are live here every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday starting at 9 p.m. with some more of an opinion-giving show. We also are the Film Guy Network. We do a lot of film evaluations here, as you saw us do there with Joseph. Appreciate you for being here. I love you. We'll see you next time. Peace out.